So I welcome you all to today's exploration. And first of all, thank you for dropping in because uh, it needs a lot of courage to look at these things which we call it life. To directly look at it face to face and to have time to explore them further in detail. So I really appreciate you taking out time for such discussions. And also the courage to share experiences. I think that is also where most of us just uh, kind of hide uh, within all these experiences, and they just kind of eat us up in the period of time. So when we open out and share these experiences, something or the other happens to those experiences. They show us the light, they show us the message behind those experiences. So also thank you for dropping in, landing up, and also to continually, those of us who have been coming again and again, sharing your experiences. So today's topic is desire, and we all know what it is. We all have good enough experiences of desires in life, but I think more often what we do land up doing is we just run after one desire after another desire. We don't really look at the nature of the desire, or maybe the message of the desire, or what is the whole experience of desire. So this opportunity, and I'm kind of just sharing it out what I do personally in my life. I look at where the desire is arising from and what is it doing to me. Where is this me who desires? And that is why I kind of open it out to all of us, that can we collectively reflect upon desire, because it rules our life, it governs our life, as if we are thrown away here and there by one desire after another desire. So in today's discussion or exploration, also exploration means it's like an investigation happening. So we are here, we all know that we have desires, and we don't want to run away from it. We want to look closely with a microscope, almost like really go close to wherever we are, and learn more about it. So that is what we mean by an exploration. There is no external or any other meaning to this exploration. Just exploration is itself the meaning, or the vision behind the exploration. There is nowhere I want to go by doing the exploration. There is no purpose to this exploration. The only purpose is to investigate, to go close, to where we are right now, not wanting to run away from there. Yeah, so with that, I would like to invite reflections from each one of you, whoever is ready to share, willing to share. You can also type in the chat window, or you can unmute and share of what happens when we have a desire. What happens when a desire is fulfilled? From where does the desire arise? What does it want to do? Why does it kind of arise in the being? So these are a few questions on which I would ask you to reflect upon, and then share, maybe take a pause and share uh, what happens when I follow a desire, and why do I follow a desire? What is the promise of a desire? Yeah. And also, I think we can talk about uh, quality of desire also, because one desire may be coming out of an incompletion, a restlessness within my being, that I feel so incomplete and restless and I want to come to rest, right? That is one desire. And the other desire may be that you feel so full and content, and it is like a desire for sharing that contentment and joy, that you maybe call up a friend, or pick up a book, or go out for a walk, or maybe call up a friend for a walk. So there also we have to see that not every desire is the same. When I'm feeling really content, fulfilled and joyous, there may be a desire to express it out, and then I go for a walk with a friend, or with my child, or anything, in a expression of sharing that fulfillment, sharing that joy. And then there are virtually most of our desires, which are kind of springing up from a want to be somewhere, as if I'm seeking something. So I would ask you to reflect upon, what is that seeking, what is that seeking for, when a desire arises. And it's okay for each one of us to have long silences in between, because this is a reflective session. And don't feel awkward for the long pauses or silences in between. We invite these silences, so it's completely okay. There is no awkwardness uh, with having long silences in between when you are reflecting over something. Go close to your own life experiences, and see that whenever a desire has arisen and you have followed that desire, what was propelling you to follow that desire? What was the promise of the desire? What did it promise that I will give you? There is where I want to take you, that what was the promise of the desire? And with desire, we also see a very close association of disappointment. Hmm? There is a very close association of disappointment with desire. So we will also explore that. If you're willing to share experiences, we'll also explore that. So it's almost like something in me uh, is not feeling all right. Something is me is having a strong sense of lack. And in order to fulfill that lack, a desire comes up, maybe for a relationship, maybe for a job, maybe for some money, maybe for a drug or a substance, alcohol, anything. anything. And why is the desire arising? So there is this feeling of lack or incompletion I'm feeling. And instead of investigating the feeling of lack, instead of investigating where is this lack arising from, what I do is, owing to our conditioning that we always go outward towards people, experiences, and situations, instead of turning within and seeing what in me is feeling this lack, what I do is, without questioning, I go outward. And as if I make that sense of lack real for me, that yes, you exist. And now what must I do? I must work, because I am at your service and I will work to fulfill you. So this is where it originates. I have this sense of lack within the being, a restlessness and a sense of incompletion. And instead of investigating and questioning this sense of incompletion, where is it located in the body, thought, feeling? Where is it arising from? Why do I have this sense of lack? What is the nature of this sense of lack? Instead of going there, I go outward. I take it for real that yes, there is a sense of lack. And what must I do? I must go out and fulfill the lack, either through a relationship, through maybe finding some drugs or abuse, any abuse, alcohol abuse, or anything. It can be anything. And for the moment, that particular thing promises me dissolution of the sense of lack. See for yourself what happens when the desire is met. Imagine that I'm desiring to have a cigarette, because I feel this very uncomfortable sensation of having a lack within me. And instead of exploring this uncomfortable sensation, what I do is, I go out in the world and I begin to fulfill this sense of lack. Now what happens when I meet a person, when I have a intimate relationship with a person, maybe I've gotten alcohol or anything that promises me uh, happiness for some time. In those moments, that sense of lack for a moment dissolves out or fades out for that particular time. So a desire rises in the being. It reaches its object, that promises it happiness. For a moment, the desire is not there. There is no seeking. There is no seeking for a moment. And is in absence of that seeking, as if I feel very content and happy. Have you experienced this happening? Imagine that I desire for a ice cream. So the moment I have that ice cream, for few moments only, I will actually feel very content, because the discontent may rise up again. It will rise up again. But for a moment, the desire, the seeking to fulfill anything will not be there. So this is the reason why we feel so content and happy when we meet the object of desire. Imagine that there is this blue sky, and there are dark clouds on that blue sky. So this seeking, this intensity, this longing acts as a dark cloud. In absence of the dark cloud, when the longing has been met for a moment, I've got the ice cream for a particular moment, that dark cloud is not there. So nothing is obscuring the blue sky, which is my true being, which is my true nature. So I feel a contentment and happiness for few moments, yes. But I see that within a few moments, that discontent rises up again. That feeling of lack and restlessness rises up again. And then I see myself desiring something else. So, like this, we are perpetually running after one desire, another desire, like a train of desires. We are running after it. Our whole life, if we look at it, has been, after periods of breaks and then one desire after another desire. So, won't we take out time to look at it? Because this has been our life. This has been our life. I cannot deny that. And at the heart of any desire, is this longing for happiness or contentment or fulfillment. Happiness for no reason. I just want to be content and happy and full. I don't want to have this feeling of unworthiness and incompletion boggling me throughout the life. So one desire comes up, I fulfill it, it promises me happiness, I fulfill it, and for a moment I am very content. And this is what happens to us when we are newly married. For example, when we fall in love in the beginning. So falling in love, what happens is the sense of separation, sense of that I am lacking something for a few moments. It's not there. So as if the dark cloud over the blue sky is absent. So the contentment and happiness of the blue sky of our truth, our true nature, shines out in those moments. But we are very well aware, all of us, that what happens, that the same person who gave me, who seems to have given me happiness in past, is not able to give me happiness anymore now. Why that happens? Because if happiness came out of that person being in my life, the person is still there in my life, but happiness is not there. What just happened? If the person brought me happiness, if my kid brought me happiness, then forever the kid's presence will bring me happiness, or the person's presence will bring me happiness. But we see that that is not the case. The same money, the same ice cream, the same Netflix, the same YouTube fails to give me happiness at many, 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 many occasions. What happens? Should I not investigate that? Is it then the external object or the person that gives me happiness, or is it something else कि माजरा कुछ और चल रहा है, कुछ समझ नहीं आ रहा क्या चल रहा है. Let's look at it. So when we look closely at this, we see that the desire in our being, any desire that comes out of a lack or a infulfillment within the being, is actually a longing that one wants to meet the truth. Happiness, peace, contentment, this is our true nature. It's the truth of our being. And the desire for an object promises that happiness or peace for at least a few moments. But then we see that we really fail almost, if I can use the word fail, in the sense that the same thing fails to give me happiness. So should I not investigate why on earth the same thing that gave me happiness now fails? So what is the mystery? Then why should I run after another desire that is springing up right now? When I've seen the play and the run of, the running after desires and really feeling devastated, almost exhausted. We exhaust ourselves running after one desire after another, one desire after another. We exhaust ourselves. So can we turn within? This is an invitation because we have been running outwardly for a long time. So can we now take a moment and turn within and look at who is the one on whose behalf this desire is arising? Who in me feels incomplete? Can you locate it? Is there anything and any person present in me who is feeling incomplete? What do I find when I turn within the being from where the desire is arising? What do I find there? We may find a thought. We may find a thought there, a thought that is saying that I feel restless. So what is this I that feels restless? Where is it? So now instead of going out, which I have done for a longer time, and I have seen that I'm not reaching anywhere, I'm repeating one cycle after another cycle, and I'm in misery owing to that. I turn within. And now I look at the root of the desire. Now I look at who in me has this sense of lack. Where is this sense of lack there? Who in me feels incomplete? Who is this I that says I feel incomplete? Where is this? What is the nature of this I? What do you find when you explore I feel incomplete? What is this I? And this is very courageous. This needs a lot of courage to go close to this, what we are doing. To explore, to go so close to all the hurt and all these feelings that we take for real, for granted. Imagine that there is a mirage. Mirage, when there is a road and it's like the temperature is a little hotter. So on the road, on the same road, you see as if there is water. That is what we call as mirage. In Hindi, Mrit Trishna. So we go close to the same very road and we see that uh, it's not there, the water is not there. So when we go close to the one who is feeling incomplete, I am the one who feels incomplete. I am the one who feels restless. I am the one with a sense of lack. Who is this I? This is what we are going to explore. So you go close to this I, you go close to this I. What do you find there? Who is this one who is feeling incomplete? You may find a little scattered feelings here and there, maybe old thoughts and memories here and there. But that is not I. Thought cannot get hurt, thought cannot have a desire. So, where is this I which says, I feel incomplete? I feel hurt. Where is this I? Who is this I? What do you find when you look for it? Parallelly, as I'm saying, explore it in your being. What do you find when you look for this I who is feeling hurt, who feels incomplete, who feels restless, who feels unworthy? What is the nature of this I? Amit, you are saying, is it your mind? Do you find your mind somewhere? Can you say, hey, I have touched my mind? Do you find it? So I'm saying, when you turn within the being and you ask yourself, who is this I who is saying, I am feeling incomplete, I am feeling hurt, I am suffering? I am desiring. I feel incompletion, so I must desire. I am asking you to explore, where is this I? So when you say ego, don't say just ego, because ego is a concept. So when I ask you, go within the being, search for the I. What do you find? Go much closer. Search for the I which feels incomplete. What do you find there? Don't just go by concepts, mind, heart, ego. We want to really kind of, go starkly deep into it. What do you find?
Can I say something? Can you hear me?
Do you find anything at all there when you go within the being and you explore who is this I which says, I feel incomplete? Yes, there are experiences, but can experiences feel incomplete by themselves? Yes. Can a thought feel incomplete? Can a thought feel itself? I'm asking you. Yes. A thought cannot get hurt, right? A thought cannot get hurt. A story cannot get hurt. A story cannot feel incomplete, right? Yes, yes. So when you say how it made me feel, who is this I? I'm asking you. What do you find when you go within the being and search for it? You are saying myself, I find myself. Are you this body, Ritu? You are saying I find myself. Are you saying you're this body? Soul consciousness, Abhilash, big concepts. We are not going there. Yes. Are you this body? So if I cut your hand, would you experience that you have been cut or a part of body has been cut? Think about it. People have, people physically get challenged. It is just a part of body. You don't feel incomplete. You see that the body part is missing, but you don't feel incomplete. So I want you to explore who is this I. See, we are going close, we are going close. It's a very sacred exploration. We see that a story cannot get hurt, right? A story cannot, a drama by itself cannot get hurt. So yes, the story of hurt may be there, but we are asking, who is this I who says I feel hurt? What do you find in the being when you go within the being and find and look for this I? Yes, yes. Now, if you're all with me in this exploration, you will see that you actually don't find any solid entity called I. You may have scattered thoughts, experiences, feelings, past memories, etc., 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 right? Or the mental construct that all may be lying as if in the head. But when you go close and search, you don't find this I who says I am incomplete. There is no entity in the being who is incomplete. And that is why it's so hard. You can't find it. It's almost like when you go to a mirage, when you go closer and closer and closer and closer to a mirage, what do you see? When you go closer and closer, closer and closer to a mirage, what do you see? That the water isn't there. But it feels so, so, so real from a bit far off. So when you go close and actually find for yourself, who is this I who feels incomplete? you won't be able to find anything. There may be thoughts, feelings, stories scattered all around. I'm not saying they are not there, they are there. But when I look for this I, to whose, as if I'm servant of that I, throughout my life I serve that illusory I, which seems so real. And that is the reason I keep on serving it without investigating it. When I turn within and try to find who in me is hurt, a story cannot get hurt. A story cannot get hurt. And when you say it's a physical sensation, and my heart feels, kind of a burning sensation, my stomach feels jitters, whatever, that is a result of believing in the story, right? That is an after effect of all that drama that happened. We are talking of the step earlier. Who in me felt hurt? And when you go and when you try to find the one who is feeling hurt, there is nothing that you can find. You will not be able to find anything. Try. You may find thoughts and stories and scattered mental constructs, yes. But where is this I? Because if this I really is there, I must be able to find it. But I see that I don't find it. I find just scattered thoughts, stories of past, anxieties of future, etc., etc. Or maybe bodily sensations, right? Heart constriction or burning sensation in the body, or maybe heartache, a few body sensations. But where is this I on whose behalf I feel this incompletion and hurt, and on whose behalf I feel the restlessness, and then I get up, have the desire, and then I do the act, and then I still end up getting unfulfilled? So if we really go closer to a mirage, which does not appear like a mirage from far off, believe me, when you are on the road, when we are on the road and we see water, we see water. It appears like a mirage only when I go closer and I see that there is no water. It must be a mirage. There is no reality to it. A mirage does not exist, because when I explore it, it is not there. It is only appearing from far off that it is there. Just like that, when we turn within the being and explore who is this I on whose behalf I am feeling hurt, I am desiring, I am having this lack of sense of, lack, feeling unworthy. Where is this I? You may find a story, yes, but is I a story? You don't find it. Yes, go closer. You don't find it. You only find scattered thoughts, feelings, sensations, perceptions, mental constructs. Yes, they may be there. But there is no I in me who is feeling incomplete. Now, what is the understanding that comes out of this discovery? If we do it practically with ourselves, and we find it that yes, there is no I, there is no entity called I. All I find is this aware presence. All I find is this awareness that yes, I am aware of the thought, of the feeling, of sense perception, of stories in my head. All I find in this discovery is an aware presence, is awareness to thoughts, feelings, sensations, or stories in my head. That is all you can find. So when what happens, what is the result of this discovery. When something happens next time and a person says something and a hurt begins to arise, you will immediately know that the I does not even exist on whose behalf I feel hurt again and again and again and again. So, why must I allow myself to feel hurt when I have not even found that I who feels hurt? So, the next time you will not be able to feel hurt with the same intensity. It is not a possibility. And if that hurt happens again with the same intensity, it just tells me that I have not discovered it yet for myself, that I who feels incompletion and who wants to fulfill itself through a desire, it is non-existent. It means I have not yet discovered it for myself. It is just a concept of my head. Because when it becomes my true understanding, when I explore it for my own self, then I see that I cannot be in the same position again. It is impossible. So all of us have to make this discovery for ourselves. These are just pointers which we are sharing in this session today. All of us have to make this discovery for ourselves, that the I on whose behalf I feel hurt and I feel incomplete, lack of worth, and then I get up, have a desire that something will fulfill me, and one after the another desire, I'm running and running and running. The desire seems to fulfill me for a time when the object is met, but then the feeling of discontent again comes up in the being, again comes up in the being. And that is the reason now we are turning within and investigating what is the nature of this I who feels incomplete. Yes, yes. So Shreya, you are writing, I is the image that I have of me, and it is difficult to part with this image. So you are saying, I am feeling a difficulty in parting with the image. So who is this
Yes,
I who is feeling the difficulty?
it's this mental construct that I have developed over decades. This idea of me. It's just an idea.
We are not
And
able to hear you if you are saying something, Shreya.
I
Yeah,
can you hear
your
me?
voice is inaudible. I can see the mic going up and down, but I can't hear you. Yeah, maybe if you log in again, I don't know if it helps. Yeah. Yes, Shreya, try now.
Can you hear me now?
I can't still hear you. Something is wrong. I don't know.
Can you hear me now?
Not working. So I can again see the mic going up and down, but I can't hear you. Yeah, maybe you type it in the chat window. Ah, you can hear. Oh my God. Just a second. There's something wrong. Yeah. Yes, Shreya. There was something wrong at my end. Yeah.
It's funny.
Yeah.
So I was just saying that, like, I see the point that you are driving, that, I is just a mental construct. It doesn't really exist, but it's sort of, it's the devil that I have grown up with. And it's, it's, there's this belief, right, that this is me. And day in, day out, I do things which are coming from that space of this is me.
So I'll just ask you to pause there. You said there is this belief that I am that image and I'm not able to part with that. So what do we do with those beliefs which we see are not serving us well? What do we do with that?
Let go of them would be
Or
the right.
or if not let go, because I'll not be able to let go if I feel that the belief is serving me, right?
um,
So what we do when I see that there is a belief which is kind of hankering me in between, it's like obstructing my growth, we investigate that belief,
mm,
right? So I'm just asking you to investigate it.
mm,
And if there is still a lot of benefit that you have out of it, then you will actually not be able to let go of it, because no matter how hard we may try.
mm,
So it definitely means that if I'm not able to let go of a belief, somewhere I still have hope that that belief is serving me well or will serve me well. And when I say serve you well, it just means that it will bring me happiness one day or the other.
yes, I mean, as you're saying this, see, there's so many things that are right now popping up in my head. For example, if I let go of the definition of who I am, and of course, I operate mostly unconsciously, right? I mean, those pauses are not there as much, which can ask that, do I really want this? Do I really want to do this? Do I really need this? And I'm just serving whatever my mind is telling me.
Yeah. And how are you feeling doing that?
Not good, of course. I don't feel fulfilled. I mean, since the topic is about desires, as you said for the first half, that's very true for me also. You feel content for few moments, and then that incompletion, that lacks again pops up.
Yes.
And that seeking just never ends. I mean, if there's more misery than contentment,
Yes.
more
Yes.
moments of misery versus moments of true contentment.
Bilkul, bilkul. And if we just take up that experience of yours and just stay with this little bit, that I had a desire, I got the object of desire, for a moment I did feel fulfillment. I'm asking you or requesting all of us to just stay with this experience. What happened when the object of desire was met? In that moment, seeking was not there. Can you see that?
Yes.
Right? So we will just explore it, because exploration means going bit by bit. I'm not going to miss out on anything.
Mhm.
So this desire comes up, and
Mhm.
desire comes up, springs up from a feeling of lack, that I am lacking something in my life.
Mhm.
And that something at the root of it is happiness and contentment and fulfillment, right?
Mhm.
So this desire comes up, and this object of desire promises that I will give you that contentment and fulfillment that you are seeking.
Mhm.
So I go and have that object,
Mhm.
or a person or a thing or a situation or a job or anything, right? Now, for a moment, I actually do feel fulfilled.
Mhm.
What happens in that moment? Because there lies the truth of our being.
As you said earlier, seeking has dropped in that moment.
In that moment, seeking is not there, right? So imagine that there is this blue sky. I'm using that metaphor again. There is this blue sky of ever present happiness and joy and peace and contentment. When the seeking is present, seeking, as if it's clouding that presence, which is 24/7 with me. Seeking. So as if the whole blue sky is covered with dark clouds. And all I have is seeking.
See, Monica, but in this experience, at least, I mean, for example, I'll take the example of a relationship because that's the simplest. In that moment, the reality of that situation also was that that person was there, and the things were just as I had always imagined.
Bilkul. Haan. So if the
So,
things became just as you always imagined, seeking was not there.
yeah. And the moment that situation changes, seeking for that situation again begins, right?
Bilkul.
So the
Bilkul.
situation, I mean, seeking drops because the situation is how I want it to be, how I
So
imagine it to be.
yeah, exactly. It can be. Bilkul. I'm with you. So I am feeling that this should happen. That thing happens.
Yeah,
Everything is according to how I want
right.
life. And I have a few moments of happiness, contentment, and not seeking, right? But we see that the moment any external trigger can do that the seeking rises up again in the being.
Hmm.
कि मेरे हिसाब से situation क्यों नहीं है.
Hmm.
And the belief is that if मेरे हिसाब से हो जाए, then I will be happy. Why is that belief there? Because in the past, जब मेरे हिसाब से हो गई, I had a few moments of contentment.
Right.
But the thing has not been investigated fully.
Mhm.
What brought me contentment was not that the things became according to my ideas. What brought me contentment was that the seeking self was non existent, it was absent when
Hmm.
things happened according to the plan.
Right.
This has to be noticed. So I am not denying any of the past experiences, they all happened as they did. I
Hmm.
am saying that why I felt happiness and contentment was not that things happened my way, was because when things were happening in a particular way, which was maybe my way, I was not seeking in that moment. So my true being was as if it was not masked. The blue sky was shining, for which I long.
Hmm.
Yes, this has to be noticed, because if I don't notice this, and if I don't slow down and pause down in time to notice this, I will not be able to know the nature of desire and why it springs up, and why fulfillment after another unfulfillment, or it'll seem to me that my happiness is dependent on external situations, and I'll be just a puppet of external situations, and no one wants to be there. We don't want to be a puppet. It's no fun suffering. So just stay with that notification. See what it does to you when you explore it deeper, when you are in your silences and you see that, yes, in that moment I was not seeking. And that's why there was so much of content and stillness and happiness, at least for a moment. So what really brought forward that blue sky of happiness and peace was just the absence of seeking self. It seemed that it came from external source, but that was just one stimuli.
Mhm.
Yeah, this can be a remarkable discovery for our own selves, when we do it more and more in our life. This can be really a remarkable uh, discovery. Yeah. Exactly. Yes, Ramaji, you are sharing. My being is at peace forever, forever. And that is why we have this longing for peace. Because more often, our thoughts and experiences and stories in the head, which clutter, they are like clouding in the head. So imagine that the sky is forever there. Whenever the clouding is there, I will not be able to have any peace and fulfillment and contentment in life. That is what we call as mental haze. And secondly, Ramaji is sharing, I just center myself to that fulfilled state. And if I again start to desire, deviate, I remember that and I center again. So you can call it centering again, or you can just call it a self exploration. Now, in this moment, I am again having this lack of fulfillment or lack of sense of self. Ask yourself, where is this I who feels this lack of lack or incompletion or sense of self? Where is this I? You won't find anything. You will, again, I'm saying, you will just find thoughts scattered in the head, or maybe stories of past, but that's not I. All you find at the heart of all experience is that you can see the thoughts and experiences come and go. You will find your awareness being there. You will not find anything else. You will see that I'm aware of thoughts, stories, experiences, my states of being, my sense perception. That is what you will say. That I see that this is happening. That is all you can say at the root of it. You will not be able to find that mirage. It was just a mirage for on whose behalf we live a whole life. We serve a falsehood for all our life. We serve a mirage all our life. No wonder that we suffer. No wonder that we suffer, because that is not who we are. We are not, we are serving a ghost. And that's why we are not fine. We are suffering. And that suffering is a signal from the intelligence of the being, the whole universe, that you are identifying at a wrong place. You are not that ghost that you believe yourself to be. Yes, so whenever this can, this, we can actually take this life as an exploration. Each moment of hurt, each moment of desire can become an exploration. Who in me says that I am unhappy? Who is this I that says I am unhappy? Because when it says I am unhappy and I believe it without questioning, what I do is I run around the whole world trying to find happiness, and I don't find it anywhere. So I don't want to go that way anymore. That's why we turn within and we explore, who is this I who says I am unhappy? What is the nature of this I? So you turn each experience of life into an exploration, into an investigation. You don't leave a bit. So Ritz is asking, where does this lack and seeking come from? Yeah. Think about it. I would say, you share. What do you think? Where is this lack and seeking coming from? Search it for yourself. And when you say lack, uh, you cannot touch the lack in the body, right? So you must be pointing out as at a thought, right? A thought emerges in my mind which says, I'm incomplete. I am incomplete. A thought emerges. That is what you're saying, where does this lack and seeking come from, right? So a thought has emerged in the being, and I just buy into it. I just believe into it without questioning. Yes. It's just as if we have been conditioning ourselves for so long not to question. क्या होगा अगर चीजों की सच्चाई सामने आ जाएगी? And now we are beginning to question, because not questioning has led us to suffering. So I question now. I don't buy into any thought just like that. Thought keeps on coming. So many thoughts come and go. I don't buy into every thought, right? You see trillions of thoughts may come and go throughout the day. Do you just buy into every thought? Do you just believe it right away? You don't. So we almost become conditioned to buy into certain thoughts more often. That is what we call conditioning. I'm having a habit of buying into certain thought more and more and more. So that becomes a pattern. I was asking in the other session that day that if I tell you that you are unworthy, you will easily buy into that. Most of us will buy into that. And if I tell you you are divine, you won't. You actually would doubt that thought. And why would you do that? It's just a matter of conditioning. I so easily buy into my lack of worth. Why do we do that? Do we need to do that? And then what happens, as a result? So a thought comes which tells me I'm unworthy. I immediately buy into it. I don't question it. I don't investigate it. And then I'm trying all the reasons in the world which make me feel that I am worthy. This is how we serve a ghost. This is how we serve falsehood. And nothing helps. We are never feeling worthy enough. No matter on how many walls I may just bang my head, I will never find that sense of worth in the external people, situations, relationships, anywhere, because it is not there. Because the lack of a sense of worth is a mirage, and that is why it never gets fulfilled. You were never incomplete from the very beginning, and that is the very reason you were never able to complete yourself. I hope you are with me, because if incompletion was there, then it must have been fulfilled by now. So can I question that the very thought that I'm buying into? I'm buying into a thought that I am incomplete. Now, as a result of buying into that thought, believing that thought, I run around helter skelter, running and finding completion. I never, ever, ever find it. Can I question why I don't find it? Because I was never incomplete from the very beginning. Why do I not find happiness anywhere? Because I was never unhappy from the very beginning. Unhappiness was just a cloud on the being. It was just a thought, a clouding thought on my being. And thoughts are not real. They can come and go, come and go, come and go, come and go, come and go. Yes, yes, Amit. Yeah. So you are saying that if I feel a sense of fulfillment from the external world or people or situation, then I am reacting in a good manner. And if I am not feeling fulfilled, then I am not reacting in a good manner. Yeah, that is what I think you are trying to say here. Yes, yes. And that would also mean, Amit, what you are saying, that whenever I act out of contentment of my being, whenever I act from a space which is fulfilled within me and not seeking fulfillment from people, situations, relationship, I will always act rightly. I'll not be able to exploit anyone in that situation. But when I act or speak out of a sense of lack, out of a inherent sense of incompletion in which I have kind of bought it, I've uh, bought into that thought, that yes, I'm beginning to believe that thought, that yes, it is true, I am incomplete, without questioning it. So whenever I am acting from that space, then my reactions are always reactions, right? They're not coming from a right place. You're saying still we know that desire is not. So this part I could not understand when you're saying still we know that the desire is not related to people. If you want to share, unmute and share, that would be nice, because I couldn't get what you want to say through this. Yeah, yeah, yes. Yes, you're right. Reaction is based on external, whatever, if a person is smiling, then I'll be acting in a different way. If a person is maybe angry, then I'll be acting in a different way. So, yes, your our reaction is based on, yeah. At the heart of every desire is a longing for the truth of the being, happiness, contentment, at the heart of it. But we have known from our own experiences that in external people and situations, we never, ever find that fulfillment. So it's a very good opportunity to turn within now, and ask who is the one on whose behalf this desire is arising. And I was sharing in the beginning, that one can be a desire arising from a lack of sense of worth, or a lack of uh, or a sense of incompletion. Most of our desires are springing up out from that. And then there is a certain kind of a desire which is an expression of your joy. You're feeling so content that you want to go out for a walk, you want to meet somebody, or you want to maybe call up someone, or you want to go out and go out to a park, or maybe whatever, ride a bicycle. That is a desire to express the joy of the being. There is nothing wrong with such kind of a desire. We don't have to abandon desire. This session was not about abandoning desires. This session was about exploring desires, exploring the nature of desire. What is it that the desire is wanting? What is at the root of the desire? And if I see this, and if I see all the past moments where the desire has been met and I have felt this fulfillment, and what really happened in that moment, I will see that there was a lack of this separate sense of self. That seeking was absent. And that is why fulfillment was there. So it definitely means that when I'm seeking, as if I'm clouding my own being. So can we now use this understanding, if it has become a reality, or it becomes a reality for us, now this understanding can be used to live a better life, or to live a life which is coming out from depths, and not just from uh, without questioning, just buying into all beliefs and living by the stories in the head. Suffering is not our birthright. We don't need to suffer. We can question and take the message out of suffering, and uh, bid it goodbye. Then suffering has done the job. And when we take life as this exploration, each and every experience that we go through, little experiences that we go through, we explore it, we dig deeper. uh, Life becomes an adventure. Then you see that you're not seeking anymore. Life itself is so interesting. I'm not seeking anything else than this exploration. In this bhakti movement, bhakti yoga, whenever I feel a longing for the God, a longing for the divine, right? In there it almost towards, so for a initial period it may serve well, that I long for the divine, so it may move me from tamas, inertia, and then I may begin to seek something which is far more than me and my little world. But later on, this longing becomes a very thick veil between the bhakta and God, or truth of the being. That seeking becomes as if identity of that person. If I'm not seeking, who am I? I'm not the bhakta then, right? So as if that seeking maintains a wall of obscurity between the seeking self and the truth of the being. So when we have trodden on this path enough, we see that the seeking need not be there. There is no uh, place for seeking to be there. But this only comes with, obviously, we have to really know it for ourselves. It cannot be a concept. It has to become our truth. That I see in my life, that whenever I'm seeking and desiring, I'm just clouding, and I'm more falling into unhappiness and sorrow and unfulfillment and feeling of lack, and all of that. This has to become my experience. This has to become a discovery for my own self. Only then some transformation, or a dawning can happen. Otherwise it'll just be another theory on my head. And that is why I think masters and mystics have said that this is a path which has to be trodden alone. Each one of us has to do it alone. We can talk about this, we can discuss this, but the real discovery within the being has to be really my own, it has to be my personal discovery. Otherwise it'll be just one more book on my head, one more theory on my head, and we have enough theories. Yeah, anything? I think we'll wind up the session in a few moments, like 10 minutes or so. If there is anything you want to share. It's almost we have to become like a curious explorer of our own self, just like how curiously we explore the world or people's minds. We have to actually become a curious explorer, just like a child is curious to know everything, right? uh, so we have to turn that curiosity within the being. Each and every experience then can be a guru. Each and every experience will serve as a guru to us. Guru means taking from darkness to light. That which was uh, in darkness now is lit up. The truth of it is shown now, owing to the fact that I go closer and closer and closer to these experiences. And then somehow, when we actually begin to take life as an exploration, each and every experience as an exploration of our own self, we see that suffering dissipates, life becomes an unfolding each moment, no matter how challenging it may be. Many a times, unheard, unexpected situations may happen. And yet, something in us will forever continue to strive, continue to explore and dig deeper into all those challenges and issues and stories and all that. We'll not take things on the face value, just buying into everything people are saying, or I am thinking about myself. So now, next time a thought will arise, I'll maybe pause for a moment before buying into it. A thought of lack of sense of worth, or I am incomplete. Something will change. Something will change. I'll not be able to just immediately absorb that thought and buy into it. It will not be possible. If the investigation has been real, if the investigation has been really stark, right? And why we are doing this? Because we owe this to ourselves. We deserve the contentment and fulfillment and happiness for which we have been really running around. We deserve it. It's our birthright. And that's why we are investigating. Using the same mind, the same intelligence, we are just investigating into our all the beliefs and patterns and which we have taken for granted for all those years. So I'm wishing and praying for each one of us that this exploration does not end after the session. You remain curious even after the session, and whatever happens in life, and life reveals then itself to us, bit by bit, in little moments. Something of our truth gets revealed to us. So this is the prayer for each one of us, that we remain curious. We look at our own movements in curiosity and wonder, and not just buy into it straightly. Yeah. So thank you for joining in. I think Amit, you are joining for the first time. So if you want to be updated by our whatever sessions happen, you can drop me your number, maybe as a direct message here over chat if you wish to, so that you can be updated about the sessions. Yeah, I think rest of us are all here. Yeah, thank you, Amit. Yeah. So thank you everyone for joining in, and I'm here. If you have any questions, you can just share even after the session is over. And those of us who want to leave can leave also. Yeah. Thank you for joining in and sharing and reflecting together. Thank you. Thanks, everyone.